Stuart McLean, who we all know, right? We all know Stuart, said, "Only a handful of songwriters have created a body of work that constitute a portrait of our country." Stan Rogers did that. So did Gordon Lightfoot. And so does Bob Bossin. Bob will tell this true story of his song, "It's So Nice Not to Be in Nanaimo."
I've never been living history before. It's a new role. I don't imagine my song that I just call Nanaimo is the only song that's ever been written about Nanaimo. It's undoubtedly the most controversial song that was ever written about Nanaimo, and I just thought I would relate that history briefly to you. I wrote it, I guess, in the mid to late 1990s, and started on a beautiful late summer afternoon on the deck of my old friends Duncan and June Blewett. It was a deck that's surrounded by Douglas fir, and the sun dapples down through the trees and the birds are singing. It was a beautiful, beautiful afternoon. And a group of us were there, a man named Robert Swerdlow, another musician, pianist, composer, some of you might know. And Duncan and June, our hosts, had spent the day shopping in Nanaimo. Now, people from Nanaimo don't, I think, believe that Gabrielans shop in Nanaimo because you never see us, because we sort of get off the ferry and race to Buckerfields and then up to Costco and over to Staples and back in time for the next ferry. And the question is that a shopper from Gabriola or a hummingbird that kind of went by? And on a hot day, it's taxing. And my friend Dunk, our host, was well into his 70s at that point in his life. And so he got back and he joined us on the deck, and he flopped down on the deck chair and said, "It's so nice not to be in Nanaimo." And as one, Robert Swerdlow and I both broke into, "It's so nice not to be in Nanaimo." Now, Swerdlow is quite a gentleman, and he let it go at that. I'm of a rather more mischievous bent, and so I ran with it, and I'll play a little bit of what I wrote. The other day as I embarked on the ferry, I espied a friend I'd known in bygone days. I ran to him, stopped short, for how it scared me to see him now so ragged, gaunt and gray. At his foot there stood a tattered wooden suitcase. It was clear he had not made in quite a while. I doubt he had enough to buy a bootlace, yet on his face there shone a beatific smile. "Fred," I said, "I'm really glad to see you, though it's clear that you have known some rainy days. Yet you appear a happy man. Fred, tell me if you can your secret." Then the ferry pulled away, while he did say, "It's just so nice not to be in Nanaimo, not to be in Nanaimo at noon, not to be in Nanaimo at sundown, or by the light of the silvery moon. There's a place you can go, you know, Nanaimo. Oh, the earth shows no fairer display than from the rail of the Queen of a slime all day she casts off for Horseshoe Bay. It's so nice not to be in Nanaimo, where the gulls and the sea lions call, where the sweet scented perfume of Harmac wafts over the city of malls, where they dream of an Olympic, not a little shrimpic swim pool, where the bathtubs race over the main. And if it wasn't for Midland liquidators, we'd never go there again. All right, so that's the beginning of well, that's the inception of the piece. And then it just so happened that shortly after I wrote it, CBC opened their radio station in Victoria. And one of the things they did as part of the celebration of that was they brought in Stuart McLean to do his very first live performances. Up till then, the Vinyl Cafe had been just in the studio with him reading stories and playing records. And Stuart and his producer called me and said, would I put together the music for this live show, that they were going to do a warm-up at the Port Theatre here and then do the show in Victoria. And I said, of course, I'd love to do it. And they said, well, what will you sing? And I said, well, I've got this new song, It's So Nice Not to Be in Nanaimo. And they were nervous. And I assured them that Nanaimo was a sophisticated place and the audience at the Port Theatre was a sophisticated audience, and sang the song, and the reaction was much as it was here. But of course, the people who laugh and enjoy it, you hear. The people who scowl silently, you don't. So it appeared to go very, very well. Well, that was fine, and I played it live a bit. And then I was on North by Northwest with David Grierson when he was still alive. And he wanted to do this song. So we sang it, or I sang it on the radio, and he enjoyed it so much that he recorded it and put it out on a CD of songs from North by Northwest. And by that time, having sung it on stage various times, it had kind of grown to include what I called the Great Nanaimo Quiz. And I'll just play you a little bit of the version that was on David Grierson's that was recorded, which got me in some trouble. You'll see. Nanaimo Radio Quiz. First prize, an all-expense-paid weekend in Nanaimo. Second prize, of course, 2 all-expense-paid weekends in Nanaimo. Accommodation at the beautiful downtown commercial hotel. Rooms by the week, by the month. Dinner for 2 at the Duke Point Ferry Terminal, etc., etc. Now, given that you're out there, I think the best thing we can do here is try to answer the questions, people listening. Get close to your radio, send them telepathically to David here. David, you'll have to kind of see what you can get here, and okay, we'll go from there.
I'm centered.
All right, first question aimed primarily at the ladies, though not exclusively so. What are the ingredients of a Nanaimo bar?
This is chocolate.
Chocolate.
This is coconut.
Coconut.
This is bird's custard.
Bird's custard. Nope. I'll tell you what's in a Nanaimo bar. Yes, yes, yes. Smoking peelers, cocaine dealers, redneck loggers, non-stop talkers, hookers with daughters. Yes, yes. Rutherford, Harewood, Harbor Park Terminal, Northbrook Country Club, Woodgrove, Rutherford, Harewood. Second question. What is the difference between Nanaimo and yogurt?
Oh, something to do with culture?
Give that man a cigar. Yes, yes, yes. There's culture in yogurt. Culture in yogurt. There is culture in yogurt. Nanaimo's got yogurt. Yogurt's got culture. Yes, yes, yes. Young and tan and lean and lovely, the girl from Malaspina goes shopping at Rutherford, Harewood, Harbor Park Terminal, Northbrook, Woodgrove. Okay, this is a slightly trickier question. This is a Cedar question. Cedar's about 2 miles south of Nanaimo. How is a typhoon in Florida like a twister in Texas or a divorce in Cedar?
All ill winds?
Nope. Somebody's gonna lose a trailer. Last question.
How is Nanaimo like the moon? How is Nanaimo like the moon? I'll tell you how Nanaimo's like the moon. 0 atmosphere. Everybody, it's nice not to be in Nanaimo. Not to be in Nanaimo in fall. Not to be in Nanaimo.
Well, that was fine, but what became interesting, let's get that ready to go. Okay. It was quite different playing the song in Nanaimo among Nanaimans than having it go national on the CBC. And I don't know what prompted the letters that started to come into the bulletin, but there were a number of them, and most of them were not favorable, I have to say. But interestingly, they kind of divided into 2 groups. There were those that said, it's not true and you shouldn't say it, and those that said, okay, it's true, but you still shouldn't say it. On the other hand, there were favorable reactions. The guys at Midland Tools loved it, and they gave me a tarp. And my favorite reaction of them all was in, I think it was 2000. Oh, I see this is happening. Hang on. Stop. Okay. I think it was 2006. Elizabeth Sheffrin, my partner, was one of the nominees for the BC Book Awards for a book she had illustrated, a children's book. And they invite, that year anyway, they invited the nominees, of whom there were, I don't know, maybe 40 or so, and an escort to Government House because they were being given out by the Lieutenant Governor, who at the time was Iona Campagnola. And so I came as Elizabeth's escort, and we were in the garden. It was another beautiful spring afternoon. And then the adjutant came and called us together and brought us into a room a little bigger than this. And he explained, he said, no, the governor, the lieutenant governor likes to know who she's talking to. So would you form into a horseshoe around the room, and when she comes to you, say your name clearly, and she will know who she's seeing. And so we were about halfway around the room, and Iona Campagnola, the lieutenant governor, came in, and she would shake hands and was passing down the line, and she came to me, and I said, my name's Bob Bossin, and for the first time, she stopped, and she said, you know, I was driving over the Malahat, and I had to pull off the road because I was laughing so hard. And then she did not say, but she sang, it's so nice not to be in Nanaimo. So that's one of the high points of my career, was making the lieutenant governor sing it's so nice not to be in Nanaimo. By then, I guess, because it was 2005, I recorded my last CD, or what I assume will be my last CD. And Veda Hilly was producing, another very inventive musician, and we kept talking about how to do the songs. And I said, you know what I'd love to do for the Nanaimo song is a barbershop quartet. And it was quite hard to find a barbershop quartet that was willing to arrange and do this song, but we did find one. I'll just play you a little bit of that.
It's just so nice not to be in Nanaimo, not to be in Nanaimo at noon, not to be in Nanaimo at sundown. By the light of the silvery moon, there's a place you can go, Nanaimo. Oh, the earth shows no fairer display than from the rail of the Queen of Esquimalt as she casts off for Horseshoe Bay. Oh, it's so nice not to be in Nanaimo, where the gulls and the sea lions call, where the sweet-scented perfume of honey wafts over the city of Mall, where they dream of an Olympic, not a little Olympic swim pool, where the bathtubs race over the main. And if it wasn't for Midland liquidators, we would never go there again. Rutherford, Harewood, Humberbar, Terminal, Knockbrook, Country Club, Woodgrove. 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 It's so nice not to be in Nanaimo, not to be in Nanaimo in fall, not to be in Nanaimo in springtime,
not to be in Nanaimo at all.
So here's to our brave little over-the-wave little Quinson and her crew serving diligently, as we stand in the stern and the wave starts to churn, as we watch Nanaimo slip below the sea. And it's farewell, you Queen's Hotel, as we watch Nanaimo slip below the sea. Bye, bye.
Just one quick coda to the story is last spring I got a call from a young woman here who said they were doing a show for visitors at the port in the summer about Nanaimo, and could they use my song for it? And I was surprised, I must say, and I said, oh, well, that's lovely. And she said they were wanted to change the words a little bit, and I said, let me guess. And she said, yes, we would like to make it, it's so nice to be in Nanaimo. And I said, that's fine.